Tell you what, great play. Both those guys attacking the ball with their hands.
Draw play on 3rd and a mile. Alvin Kamara gets about half of it back. But a 3-and-out for the Eagles defense here. And it started with a first down pass rush that's been sorely missing through 2 games.
Yeah, and that's an element to this Saints offense that they've really relied on because of their style. Under center, play action, heavy run game, big people. They don't stress their protections very often. They're not asking Derek Carr to be in shotgun, play 5 wide, and really stress those protectors in a drop back fashion. So when you can generate pass rush in those play action downs, it throws this Kubiak system a little out of whack and puts them behind the chains.
Matthew Hayball, the rookie, originally from Australia, to punt this one away to Britton Covey. Not a good one. Covey says get away and watches it bounce out of bounds. First punt in the first half this year by the Saints, by the way. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense going back to work when you come back.
They tryna be funny, I'm tryna get money. I guess in the end I'ma see you later. And I just wanna daddy did it for my daddy. They see in my face, man, I'm in the paper. Man, I'm one of the ones you see.
First quarter, there's A.J. Brown out again this week. This has been a different team when they've not had him. Game-changing, game plan-changing receiver. -9 on 3 plays on the first drive. Hurts hits the crosser. Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith tiptoes the sideline and has 23 yards on the first play of this drive.
Yeah, really nice play design. Little short motion here by Devontae Smith, and then the 2 receivers in the wing, Calcaterra and Dallas Goedert, they kind of just run interference. A little mesh concept, 2 big tight end bodies running across, and then the speed of Devontae Smith on the underneath shallow. They got to continue to open him up. You mentioned A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown was their vertical guy. He put a lot of depth in the secondary and allowed Devontae Smith to run those underneath crossing routes with yards after the catch.
Fake to Barkley. Heavy pass early on. Hurts looking deep. He's got Dallas Goedert. Goedert's inside the 15. Size advantage and a step on Tyrann Mathieu for 44 yards.
So they bring 3 tight ends onto the field. They're using Goedert. Watch this route, Joe. It's roll right. He sells a corner out. Mathieu gets spun around, and then he takes it back on the post to the open side of the field. Got a bunch of tight ends, good play action. Look at the protection. One of the best O-lines in football, and they mentioned coming in, they want to get Dallas Goedert going. He's had a slow start to the season, and tell you what, that's a pretty good way to do it.
From the Saints 13, first carry for Jalen Hurts. Bounce into the outside, can't get around Carl Granderson. Granderson already with a few stops. Talking about the importance of A.J. Brown for this offense. They've averaged 28 points per game when they've had him, 15 points per game when they haven't. Of course, last week, the only other game that he's missed in his 3 years with the Eagles was the wild card game last year, but they only had 9 points. Second and 10. Still have not seen Barkley. He swings out. He takes the throw. Saquon Barkley gets a few.
Now you mentioned what's made this Saints defense so good through 2 weeks, Joe. It's really been the combination of these 2 things. They have yet to allow a rush over 10 yards. And the biggest thing, they are the second best team in the league in run or pass at preventing deep pass plays, deep runs, explosive plays. So that Goedert pass, that's something we haven't seen them really be susceptible to very much. And this Eagles offense is trying to find that explosive element with A.J. Brown out.
3rd and 9 for the Eagles. Yeah, we're going to get that to begin the second quarter. Philadelphia's on the move. Jalen Hurts hitting a big play that was missing last week. On to the second in New Orleans. This is one of the areas here, Greg, the Eagles talking about needing to be better. Just 2 for 5 scoring touchdowns getting into the red zone last week.
Yeah, and that was really the big issue. It eventually obviously led to the late loss against the Falcons. You saw the explosive play to Goddard. That's something that hasn't been really there consistently. In the NFL, you either got to throw it deep or you've got to be really good in the red zone. Going to see what they got here.
Spread it out 5 wide on 3rd and 9. Four-man rush, given time into the end zone, picked off. Tyrann Mathieu, turnover machine. In his 12th season, he just keeps on doing it. A forced fumble and a fumble recovery week 1, an interception week 2, and an interception week 3.
And this is typically a big body throw, a tight end, A.J. Brown, corner safety. DeVonta Smith needs to come flat. He's got to cross Mathieu's face. That is a trust throw. That ball is thrown. When he gives that little rocker step, that ball is out. You have to imagine A.J. Brown. You got to imagine that's a route we've seen him run. Bigger body, physical guy. Maybe a Goddard. It's not really DeVonta Smith's strength there in those contested windows. And man, is there a better ball hawking guy? A guy who always seems to be in the right place, maybe all the way back to his college days, than Tyrann Mathieu. Gosh, but it's the turnovers, the Reds. It's just this something about this Philly offense is just off. And at the top of the list, Jalen Hurts has to protect the ball.
Yeah, again, he gets yards on that drive, gets a couple explosive plays, but it's his 5th turnover in the early going this year. Play action was sniffed out right away and thrown incomplete by Carr with the pressure coming from Jalen Carter.
You know, we mentioned Sirianni. Ever since he took over as the head coach, he said, you know, there's a lot of ways to gauge my team. You know, there's a lot of metrics out there. There's a lot of statistics. He goes, the only 2 things I ask for my staff each week, what was the differential in turnovers and what was the differential in generating and preventing explosive plays? And we can't harp on it enough. If they don't protect the ball, the importance of the rest of that stuff goes significantly downhill.
2nd and 10. Carr to the sideline. There's Kamara, pushed out of bounds by Vaughn. He's got a sign on his desk that says victory favors the team making the fewest mistakes. It's a Bob Knight quote. And, you know, you're talking the turnovers, you're talking the penalties. Those have been an issue as well. And Super Bowl run in 22, the start last year, they were checking all those boxes, but they've lost 7 of their last 9 games, and it's not hard to see why.
No, I mean, I think their formula, the 2022 Super Bowl run and then the 10-1 start from last year, the formula was very good. Their defense was on the field when the offense was generating explosive plays, getting leads early, and they could just rush the passer and not really worry about the run, and then massive turnovers come. That was their formula.
A 3rd down pass play, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage. That's the 2nd ball that's gotten hit at the line by Jalen Carter.
Yeah, we'll take a look. They're trying to influence these D linemen. It's a little trap pass, but both the guards pull into each other. And watch, they just run dead into each other. So they're trying to, that's why they don't get the defensive line kept. There's bodies all over. Foster Moreau is wide open. But that mix-up, remember, Lucas Patrick moved from left guard now to center. So they've got some moving parts. Just haven't seen this Saints offense be this kind of disjointed through their terrific first 2 weeks. These last 2 possessions, they've been a little off.
And so for the Eagles, this is as good of a quarter plus that they've played on defense so far this year. And it's guys that they've been desperate to get some production out of that has shown up, like Davis and like Carter. Fair catch from Covey, taken back at the 21, and a nice punt right there of 52 yards from Hayball. Well, the Saints defense getting a takeaway in the end zone. They were just out there. They'll head back to the field after this.
The NFL on CTV is brought to you in part by FanDuel. Live bet on North America's #1 sportsbook.
Game the first couple weeks, that's top 5 in the NFL. There's still, though, been a sense that it's not quite the same as it was when they were at their peak. First down and 10 as this drive begins from the 21-yard line. Impressive drive last time, but it ended in an end zone interception. Barkley, his first carry is going nowhere. Stopped by Demario Davis.
Yeah, so the last possession we talked, all right, what was that formula that you keep referring to, that 2022, the first 11 games of last year? We talked about why was their defense, though, playing with a lead? Why were they able to really just ignore the run and rush the passer? It's because the formula of offense was very clear. Use fourth down and obviously the tush push to your advantage. Spread you out, throw the ball downfield to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and then the quarterback runs in the run game got them leads early. That was the magic formula. They're still trying to find it again.
Barkley has a hole. There's a crushing blow there at the line of scrimmage that he snuck by and got a first down. 11 yards for Saquon Barkley, who's been everything the Eagles could have hoped for so far.
Watch Pete Werner. If you're a young linebacker playing at home, this is counter. Calcaterra is pulling. This is how you take on a lead block. That is how you take on a lead block. You're playing football at home, man. That is impressive.
Hurts' first read was taken away. He'll look to run. Devontae Smith gives him a block. Hurts uses his legs. A game break. Hello, Carissa Thompson.
Hello, Joe. The 0-2 Broncos, who didn't score a touchdown last week, now have 2. Jaleel McLaughlin takes the pitch, outruns the defense, and just gets in for the score. Denver up 14-0 on the Bucs. Joe?
On the 2-0 Bucs, who will host the Eagles next week. Wow, surprise after surprise, one week after another in this league. The Hurts, who ran for a bunch last week, one of his top 5 rushing totals in the NFL, scampers for 6 on that first down scramble. On 2nd and 4, there's a flag. And a false start.
False start. Offense number 68. That's a 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Let's go down to Pam.
Joe, just something I was watching when the Eagles offense was over here on the bench. Nick Sirianni went over, spoke words to his quarterback, who nodded his head in acknowledgement. Then he went over to Devontae Smith, spoke seemingly as they worked things out on what happened to that play on the pick. And then for good measure, Hurts went up and down the offensive line, almost taking responsibility for what happened.
All right, Pam, great stuff. Head of the 2nd and 9 play. Saints bringing pressure. Outside Britton Covey. Got around to Debo, and Britton Covey's got a first down. 4 catches over his first 2 years in the NFL. That's his 7th the last 5 quarters.
Yes, we showed you Taylor's sack earlier in the first quarter. They didn't have a hot read. He comes now, and look, it's just Covey's just the hot route. Just spit it out there. He knows, Jalen Hurts knows he does not have Alontae Taylor picked up. That's a nice adjustment. Learning from the previous sack. Get that ball out of the hand. Make them tackle in space.
From the 45, another quick throw. Dallas Goedert in traffic, able to navigate his way through. He gets 9 more, and you touched on this when he had his long catch earlier. The Saints are thinking, the Eagles are thinking, we're thinking. It seems like everybody's thinking this guy's about to emerge again.
And he has to. He has to be the second option in the passing game. And I'm a little surprised they haven't gotten Saquon Barkley going. Run and pass. Get the ball in his hands, especially as this defense starts to thin itself out, defending all these wide screens and these deep throws down the field.
Yeah, he's averaged more than 20 yards per carry over the first 2 games, but only 2 carries here. On 2nd and 1. Fake to Barkley. Blitz coming. Hurts has Goddard, who got hit right away by a Debo. This guy's blossomed into one of the top corners in the league that people don't talk about.
Yeah, it was a little cover 0. Dennis Allen changing up his looks. They spread out the front. It looked like it was going to be 2 high safeties, and then they brought interior pressure. They didn't have a cover 0 plan. He had no choice but to drop that off short. And now, in years past, the Nick Sirianni approach was, this is 4-down territory. So we can throw it short of the sticks. We can run it. Quarterback design run. Look, there's nobody in the middle of the field. And if you're short, we go 4th down.
Only a 3-man rush. The crossers Gainwell. He got just 2. He was slammed down by Matthew and Warner.
Yeah,
so 4th and what? 2.5?
Yeah, this is them. You talk about their formula, the 2022 run to the Super Bowl. This was them. They were in 4-down territory from the -40, meaning the 40 on their side of the field, all the way to the goal line. And do they have the confidence in the tush push? Cam Jurgens replacing the future Hall of Famer Jason Kelce. They're not going to go tush push. They're starting out in the gun, at least to start.
4th down. Outside it is. Goddard for a 1st down. Similar look to what they ran on the 3rd down play late last week, where Barkley had the drop. Flings it outside to Goddard. His 3rd catch goes for 8 and a 4th down conversion.
And if I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan at home, I'm feeling good about this. This is Nick Sirianni operating this team to the way they want it to be. 4th down tries, playing 3rd down like 2nd. Really nice play call there by Kellen Moore. Everyone's thinking Barkley up the middle on 4th and short, and just a simple pitch and catch this time to Goddard. You mentioned last week they had the same look, and Barkley dropped it.
Eagles have a new right guard, by the way. Tyler Steen is replaced Mekhi Becton. It's Barkley with no room. Saquon Barkley had that drop on the play that we're talking about. Really the one play that hasn't gone great. He had the 6 seasons with the Giants. After they drafted him 2nd overall, he was excellent there. Years, it seemed like, of contract negotiations. Are they going to wrap him up long term? It didn't happen. He signs this 3-year deal with the Eagles and is off to a wonderful start. Tenth play of the drive. Hurts looking long. It's pressure from behind. Ball is out. The Saints have it. Granderson forced it, and Willie Gay recovered. The 2nd Jalen Hurts turnover.
Yeah, and the biggest thing there is Jalen Hurts does not want to escape pressure to the left. That's where the negative plays have come from his entire career. The Saints know that. Flush him left, chase him from behind, and 2nd positive drive in a row that's ended in a turnover.
Out of Wyoming and hardly played his first few years. He played mostly for that guy, Darren Rizzi, the special teams coordinator. But he's finally gotten his chance in recent seasons, and at this point, one of the top players on this defense. Forces the fumble that's recovered by Willie Gay. Near midfield, the Saints take over with Alvin Kamara looking for the edge. Zach Vaughn escorts him out of bounds. You got 5 on 1st down as we look back at that turnover.
Yeah, just watch the effort. He's working against one of the best right tackles in the league in Lane Johnson. He's blocked. No offensive line, Joe, in the entire league gives their quarterback more time to throw than this Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. Jalen Hurts invites a lot of the pressure onto himself. A lot of it leads to his big plays. He doesn't feel good going left. A lot of negative plays. Has more sacks than completions in his entire career when leaving the pocket to the left. That's a pretty startling number.
Back-to-back runs, Kamara. Good patience and then acceleration to get 4. And it's 3rd and short. And this guy, there's talk about him being past his prime, and goes out, has 4 touchdowns last week. He looks as fresh and as fast as we've seen him in a while.
Yeah, I mean, that coming into today, almost 6 yards per carry. He was down in like the mid-3s last year. I mean, that's such a significant improvement. He's always been such a good player. I just think this system, the perimeter zones, complementing him in the passing game with some of the checkdowns and screens, this system really fits his skill set really well.
Here's what they do, though, Greg. They get these 1st down, 2nd down runs and set up the full bag of tricks on 3rd and short, and they'll take advantage with a toss to Foster Moreau. The tight end's first catch converts 3rd and 1.